White Pod. I'm Stephen Blaine, your host with White Labs, an e-commerce marketing agency. Today's guest is Erica. Erica, feel free to introduce yourself and let our viewers know about your background.
Hi, I'm Erica, and I have a brand that I've started from the ground up called Four.Four Co, where we donate 4.4% of all of our proceeds to CASA, which is a organization where they help support children in foster care. A little bit about me: I've been in the design industry for years and years and years. I don't want to say how many years. I'm Botox, so you don't know how old I really am. But I've been in the industry for many, many years. I used to design fabrics and costumes for Disney. I worked for many surf brands here. I'm based out of Southern California, so I worked for many surf brands that I always knew I wanted to do something on my own. And if I was going to do it, it needed to have product that I really enjoyed, and then I had to have a reason to do it. So when I created this company, kind of the timing was a little off. I had this idea in 2018. I worked on it in 2019. And in 2020, I was ready to launch. And then the world shut down. So talking about, we kind of had some challenges from the beginning, but it's been a very fun ride so far. But yeah, a little bit about me was that I've been in the industry forever. I started a brand, and I'm very excited to share it with people.
Awesome. What can you tell me more about the brand?
Yes. So we have basically how it started was two factors. One, I used to travel a lot for work, and so I would get off an 8-hour flight, overnight flight, and arrive, and I'd have to go straight from the airport to a board meeting and visit factories and be on the go. And so I had some bag and a suitcase and a duffel bag, and I had the things, but they were also techie and they were ugly for my designer brain. And so I really wanted something that was aesthetically pleasing and also functional. And I've done a lot of traveling through the years. I've lived overseas, and I've been in 25 countries. And so I really thought about, okay, well, when you travel places, there's pickpocketers. So we have like secret compartments where you can hide your passport and luggage on you. Easy in and out access for your laptop and things like that with our backpack. So I really wanted stuff that was going to be geared for your everyday life. And then I'm also a minimalist of a person, and I don't actually like to change my purse. So I wanted anything that I know it's weird for a girl, but I wanted anything that I wanted it to be functional and be able to travel from your everyday life, and then just be on the go and take it to an airport if you had to. So I thought of all of my favorite essentials. We have a really great tote bag, backpack. I call them DOP kits. I was a military brat, so we call them DOP kits, but they're toiletry bags, makeup bags, backpacks. We have, when starting this, I really wanted it to be as sustainable as possible. In the design industry, I don't know who knows this a lot, but we spend so much waste on dyeing our fabrics, sourcing our fabrics, making fabrics. There were times that I would design something, we would run a sample roll of 200, 300, 500 yards of something, and then they cancel it, and then it just goes to waste, and it sits there in a warehouse. And meanwhile, you've created all these yarns and dyes, and it's just really, the apparel industry can be very wasteful. So everything that I did, I wanted to make sure that it was already made in this world. So all of our fabric comes from stock fabric that's already existing. So we're not making anything new and putting any new waste into this world. But that's a little bit about our brand in a nutshell. And then, yeah. Oh, that's a great question. I feel like it depends on which social media platform you choose the information comes from. But right. Ideally, it's 25 to 45-year-old, maybe the younger mom or the young working professional, somebody that just really gets wanting to not be a name brand household, but like somebody that wants to shop for small business, understands what they're buying, because that's, I think, where the power of our story kind of comes in, is we do work really hard to be sustainable. We give back, and we make really cool stuff that makes you happy. So I think our target market is it's women, although we do have We do have some male backpacks coming out and dop kits, but it's women 25 to 45. But obviously, so it changes, you know. There's always, that's kind of who we created it for, but there's always people that we see outside of that demographic.
The world is ever changing, right? So
It is.
what makes you different, or my favorite thing, what makes you better than your competitors?
What makes us better than our competitors?
Yeah.
Well, what I think we do really well is creating things that make you, like, the quality that you get, you're surprised by when you get it home. I over and over again, I've seen videos, like unboxing videos that we've had, and people are just taken away with like the detailing, the level of detailing that we go through with our quilting, all of the extra pockets that we put into it. And what I hear time and time again is they really thought this through. And so I think it wasn't just like, I'm going to create this bag and business and I want to make money. It was being intentional. And I think that it comes across that way when you actually receive our product. So you know you're buying for a good cause because we give back. You're really buying because of all the details, and we have really fun. Obviously, I love prints. Everywhere in my office, bathrooms, house has some sort of fun print. So I love the details and the prints. And you're buying because they're solid and they're going to last. We guarantee our product too. There are some brands that do that, but they're more technical, and they're not as soft and clean as our aesthetic. And so I think that's where we have an edge to compete. So I'm really guaranteeing what we sell. And I want our customers to be happy for a long time and keep coming back.
Awesome. What are I mean, you've talked a lot about your products. What is your best-selling product?
You know what's really funny? It goes in waves. There will be there will be months where it's just like we have a hat that's just says "Do Good," and there's also sorority Delta Gamma that's their slogan is "Do Good." So there'll be like waves where we'll sell like tons and tons of hats, and then we'll sell duffel bags and for days and weeks, and then I don't know. It's like the algorithm just puts us on a little path. We do sell a lot of the duffel bags are a really good seller, and our dop kits are a really good seller, and they're really good packaged together. I feel like the backpack is something that really started the brand, and so I thought, oh, we're going to be a backpack company, and it's just kind of funny when things evolve and we just randomly decide, you know what, we really like to travel with a hat that you can like throw in the washing machine, or it's okay if it gets shoved in a suitcase. So we just threw that hat in there and be surprised at how well that hat did. So even though you like want to start it as one thing, it's pretty crazy that it can evolve into something else.
Awesome. Well, most of our viewers and listeners are entrepreneurs like yourself. What are some challenges that you've faced in the past few years, and how are you able to overcome them?
Oh, gosh. Well, I feel like it's just obviously there's so many challenges that I've been faced with when starting a business, whether it's from finance to logistics. Like each step is obviously its own struggle, right? And I was prepared for that. I think that as an entrepreneur, you're prepared for that. But it's the little things that when we decided, I think for us, it was the biggest thing was being as sustainable as possible, because it is a really big mission, not only for us, but just across the world. Like buyers, consumers are obviously more educated than they've ever been. And so how are you going about doing that? And so we really wanted so all of our packaging when we mail stuff is in home compostable packaging. All of the, like any mailers or anything, marketing materials is all printed on recycled paper with soy-based ink. And so we really, it was a little bit more expensive, but it was really important to us. So in the beginning, what they don't tell you is in home compostable packaging, it's very, very delicate, and it would arrive at people's homes and the package would be opened. And so we'd have to send another package because their item was messed up because the packaging was breaking down as we were sending it to them. And so I had to go back on the website of the place that we bought the packaging from, and they sell home compostable tape. So now everything is taped up and extra secure. But it's just those little things where you're like, how is this, how do I fix this? And And, maybe they sent us old materials because it does have a very, very short shelf life. And so in the beginning, when we weren't selling as much, we weren't going through the mailers as fast. And so you'd literally go to grab one and they would just disintegrate as you're trying to put all the product in. So that was kind of, I think just as a whole, like you have this great idea of like, yes, we're going to be sustainable. But then in execution, it could become a little tricky and also a little bit more expensive too, because you're doing trial and error through it as well. So, but we figured out the formula on how to buy our packaging and not buy too far ahead, so that it doesn't disintegrate. So it's a very tricky game, but
Yeah,
I feel like we've gotten it down.
that's good. It's good. I mean, that's a heck of a challenge, I would say.
Right?
So
Like,
yeah.
so I think
What
that was,
you've mentioned. Go ahead.
I was just say, I think that was one of the biggest things, which is kind of silly because I think that's just something you're not prepared for. Like,
For sure. Yeah, I can see that. What are what are some successful activities you've done to promote the brand?
um, oh gosh, we've done so many things. I think just in general, it's just taking advantage of every opportunity possible. We've had lots of pop-up shops in stores, just knocking on doors in general. Anybody that there's an event, can I sponsor you? I think just it hasn't been just one thing. I think it's as a whole, just keeping your finger on the pulse and what events are coming up, and even any exposure. Like this podcast is great, right? So it's when you guys reached out,
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, why not? Even though this is my first video podcast, yeah, just any reaching out to press, reaching out, doing pop up events, in store events, just anything that would give us exposure, and especially in the beginning, anybody that would take a chance on us, that was um, really hard. But I don't think it's been one particular like this event and this specific like thing is the thing that launched us or made it all work. But like even going back to my college and saying like, hey, do you guys have any tournaments or events or whatever it is that they're coming up? Can we sponsor you? Or um, uh, just having exposure across the board, because there's so many, you can keep doing the same kind of event, but it's not going to get you exposure into a new audience. So
100%. What is your future plan for yourself and the brand?
my future plan, I've thought about this from the beginning. Like, what are my intentions? Is it to grow it so that I can sell it? Or is it to grow it and then this becomes my home forever? And I think that that's what I landed on. I think that's kind of a double negative
Awesome.
there, but yeah, that's what I landed on. Is I want to. This is my home. This is my baby. This is what I've been wanting to do my entire life, and I've had the luck of being able to do it. Right, a little luck, a lot of hard work. Um, but yeah, and the next couple of years, I've really thought about like part of our mission is to give back, and even in the beginning when we weren't profitable, I still made a point to donate 4.4% of all my sales to CASA, because I felt like it was really important. And so for me, I can't just do this brand or build this brand without going back to my initial mission. And so what I really want to do in the next couple of years here, I need to get more space for it, like a bigger office for it. But I really want to do job training. So part of yeah. So, well, I guess I need to go back to the very beginning. I missed step 2 of why I started this. My mother is a
No
social
problem.
worker here in Orange County. My mom's a social worker here in Orange County, and she works for Orange County Mental Health and actively takes homeless people off the street and gets them housing and takes them to the DMV and gets them their driver's license. And so I still do, but I used to in the beginning clean out my closet, kids' closets, all my friends' closets, whoever was getting rid of stuff, and I would take it all to my mom's office and I would give her all of the clothes or whatever it is that we were getting rid of. And she told me, she's like, Erica, like, it's great that you do all this, but what they really need are bags. Like, they don't have anything to carry this stuff home. And so that kind of, we started talking about that, and my mom had been involved in CASA and volunteering. And so then I decided to volunteer and see what this program was. And we talked about, like where I know I wanted to start this, where do I want my donations to go to? And that was kind of my light bulb moment where I was like, oh, wait, people need bags. I'm a designer. I know how to create a brand. I can do this. And that was one of the moments where I'm like, okay, I wanted to work on at-risk youth and then in foster care, because that's kind of where our name came from, is 4.4 children on an average in the US in foster care system on a daily basis. And that's where 4.4 comes from. So when diving into like where I want this brand to go, it's also the giving back. And part of being in foster care is at 18 years old, you don't get as much support anymore. And so from 18 to 24, they have a very high risk. It's more than 50%. I have their little thing, their little cheat sheet right here that they sent me because we partnered with them. More than 50% of former youth end up either incarcerated or on the streets because they don't get the support after foster care. So what I'd really love to do is job training and have like a 6-month, 1 year, whatever it is, paid internship program to encourage people to go to school and then give them some real tools. So that's kind of one of my big pushes to grow the brand even more. Is the more I can grow it, the more I can give back and help too, because that, I'm not in it to make millions of dollars. I'm in it to grow a brand and also give back in where I can. So that's kind of, for me, yeah, I can grow this thing, but then there needs to be a reason why I'm growing it too. And I want people to come along with me.
So that's an amazing story. Where can our viewers find you? Your website is four.com. Anywhere else online that you're at, or retail?
Yes, we are. We're on Instagram. We're in a lot of boutiques throughout the U.S. And then we're in mainly country clubs. So if you are a golfer or go to some resorts,
awesome.
We have.
I'm a big golfer.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you are? Okay. Yeah, I worked for.
Yeah.
How it started was I actually designed. Do you know Travis Matthew? I designed.
Of course. I was wearing a Travis Matthew shirt before this call, and I just changed it. That's so funny.
No, I probably would have recognized it. I designed for them for 6.5 years, and I was there before they got bought by Callaway and became a little bit bigger. But yeah, I was there really at the ground floor.
That's hilarious. I put this. I was like, I'm just gonna wear something a little more. That's funny.
Oh, funny. So close. But yeah, so I was in that industry for a really long time. So being able to make those connections were a lot easier because, and I also think that that's a really great space that isn't being tapped into for travel bags.
No, it's not. It's not at all. Yeah.
So that's where Erica, it's been successful.
I really appreciate you coming on the podcast and hearing your story and your brand. It's been amazing. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you.